And it's that annual tragedy of the end of the Canadian summer. Dropped the kids off at school for the first day the other day, and as exciting as that was, the summer's coming to an end. And what kind of summer has it been for Mark Carney? It has been the Seinfeld summer. A big show about nothing. Let's review the show. He made a big show about austerity in government spending after he advised Justin Trudeau to double the national debt and cause the worst inflation in 40 years. Now Mr. Carney says he's going to have a big show about austerity. Well, what's the reality? Well, government spending is up 8% in the 5 months Mark Carney has been in office. 33% more bureaucrats make $100,000 or more. 37% more spending on consultants, an eye-watering $26 billion paying for high-price consultants, almost a third more than Trudeau was spending. And though Mr. Carney has not figured out how to introduce a budget, he's managed to double the deficit. That's right. The deficit is going to be twice as big under Mark Carney as it was under Justin Trudeau. So despite the big show, he's not only done nothing, he's made it worse. On crime, he made a big show about how he was going to address the Liberal crime crisis. Well, what has he done? He has not changed a single Liberal law. He has done nothing. It has been a show about nothing in Mr. Carney's government, but unfortunately it has been a horror show in our communities. Stories of little children being viciously and appallingly assaulted in their own homes by burglars who are out on release. Another horrific tragedy today that we just learned about, where innocent First Nations are the victims. And a horrendous case of a father losing his life coming to the defense of his children who witnessed his death. These are the stories that Mark Carney's Liberals have made more common through their catch-and-release criminal justice system. Even Liberal mayors are turning on the Carney government and saying, what the hell is taking you so long? Our streets are being overtaken by gangsters and criminals. And Mark Carney has put on a big show about nothing. He has done absolutely nothing. His minister even attacked me for saying that people should be allowed to defend themselves in their homes. He said that it isn't the Wild West. I'm sorry, but unfortunately, after 10 years of Liberal laws, it is the Wild West out there. People are feeling afraid. Seniors afraid to go outside. Parents afraid to let their children play alone. Canadians afraid their car might be stolen. Drugs are killing a record number of our people, and Mark Carney has put on a big show about nothing. Immigration. Mr. Carney put on a big show that he was going to address Liberal immigration. What has he done? He's kept Justin Trudeau's numbers. He's bringing in a record number of temporary foreign workers to take the jobs of Canadians. And yesterday, he made an appalling comment. He was asked about my proposal to get rid of the temporary foreign worker program, and what did he say? He said, oh, he's talked to business lobbyists, corporate lobbyists, and they assure him they would like to continue to bring in low-wage labor from poor countries. Of course they would, Mr. Carney. Of course they want your corporate lobbyist friends and your other elites want to stuff their pockets by shutting hardworking Canadians out of jobs and giving those jobs to temporary foreign workers. You are not supposed to be working for corporate lobbyists. You're supposed to be working for Canadian workers. And that is why we will be pushing extra hard this fall to put an end to the temporary foreign worker program so we have Canadian jobs for Canadian workers. And we want those Canadian workers to be able to drive to work in the car of their choice. So we will fight to put an end to Mark Carney's proposed ban on gas, trucks, and cars. And then there's been the Seinfeld show, the big show he's done on trade, tariffs, and Trump. He said elbows up. His elbows have gone missing. He said he'd have a deal by July 21st, whereas September, there's still no deal. He said he'd handle Trump, that he would drop the gloves, and yet Mr. Trump has been getting everything he wants from this Prime Minister. It's now clear why Donald Trump wanted Mark Carney. Mark Carney backs down and gives him everything he wants. Mark Carney is losing abroad, and Canadians are paying the price at home. But worse than the tariffs is Mark Carney's own penalties on Canadian industry. Since he took office 5 months ago, Canada has lost a net $63 billion, most of it leaving to the United States, to create American jobs at our expense. And this brings me to the next show, the Seinfeld show, about projects. Remember, he was going to build a record, we were going to build at record speeds, at speeds we couldn't even imagine. 5 months have gone by, and what has gotten built? Not one shovel in the ground on a national project. Not one permit granted. In fact, 5 months in, Mark Carney can't even name a project that he'd one day like to consider building. But he's got lots of news coverage about setting up an office. He set up an office that will one day hire people, bureaucrats, who will one day receive applications for projects they might one day consider approving to one day begin construction. Maybe. And then on housing. By the way, that's all happening while Canadian pipeline companies are building pipelines in America, creating jobs and energy opportunities for American workers that they say, these companies, they cannot build here in Canada. And on housing, Mr. Carney said he was going to build these prefabricated modular homes using a brand new government department. 5 months in, how many homes has this government department built? You guessed it, nothing. Because the department, this new bureau, still doesn't even exist. He can't even set up a new bureaucracy in 5 months, let alone build a new house. So our young people are without homes, our construction workers without jobs, and our country in the worst housing crisis ever. That is the consequence of Mark Carney's Seinfeld summer, a big show about nothing. Conservatives want enough of the show business, and let's get down to real business. Our fall session is going to focus on very clear, simple priorities. Stronger take-home pay by cutting government spending, taxes, and inflation. Secure streets by locking up the criminals that Liberals have let go free. Solid borders by slamming the brakes on Liberal immigration. And a self-reliant country by passing the Canadian Sovereignty Act, a bill we encourage the government to take from us and put in place. It is a bill that will make this the fastest place on earth to get a permit for a mine, a pipeline, an LNG plant, a nuclear facility, a port expansion. It will open our country for business. It will axe the capital gains tax when you reinvest money in Canada. Let's bring those hundreds of billions of dollars of investment Liberals expelled back to Canada and unlock an incredible boom that will make us strong, self-reliant, and secure. In a country where people can pursue their dreams and get things done, the goals are very simple. We don't need a fancy show. We need to bring costs down. We need to slam the brakes on immigration, lock up criminals, get shovels in the ground, and paychecks in pockets. Those are our clear priorities, and that's something. Thank you.